Maya stared at the lawyer in shock. After paying all her husband's cancer bills, only $5 remained. Her twins needed food. They would lose their home tomorrow. Then another lawyer appeared with news that would change everything forever. Before watching full story, comment below from where are you watching. Also like and subscribe for more stories. Maya Johnson sat in the cold chair at the lawyer's office. Her 6-year-old twins Emma and Ethan sat next to her. Maya's hands were shaking as she held a tissue. 3 weeks had passed since her husband David died from cancer. The hospital bills kept coming every day. Mrs. Johnson, the lawyer said in a sad voice. After paying all the medical bills and debts, your husband's money is all gone. You only have $5 left. Maya felt her heart break into a million pieces. $5. That was everything left from David's life insurance and their small savings account. She looked down at her beautiful children. Emma was drawing pictures of Daddy with angel wings. Ethan kept asking when Daddy would come back home from heaven. Mommy, are we going to be okay? Emma whispered. Her big brown eyes were full of worry. No 6-year-old child should look so scared. Maya forced herself to smile. She hugged her little daughter tight. Yes, my baby. Mommy will find a way to take care of us. I promise. But deep inside Maya's heart, she felt completely lost and afraid. They had already received a paper saying they must leave their small apartment. The rent man wanted his money for 3 months. Maya's part-time job at the grocery store gave her very little money. It was not enough to pay for food and rent. David had worked 2 jobs every day to take care of his family before the terrible cancer made him too sick to work. When they walked out of the lawyer's office into the cold street, Maya's phone started ringing. The name on the screen said Mrs. Chen. She was their kind old neighbor who lived next door. Maya, my dear child, Mrs. Chen said in her sweet voice. There is a man here looking for you. He says he is a lawyer, but he is different from the one you saw today. He is standing by your apartment building right now. Maya's stomach felt sick with worry. Another person wanting money, she thought. Another man who wanted to take something from her family when they had nothing left to give. When they reached their apartment building 20 minutes later, Maya saw a tall man in a dark blue suit standing by the front door. He had very kind eyes and gray hair. When he saw the children, his face lit up with a warm, gentle smile. Mrs. Johnson, the man said politely. My name is Attorney Robert Clark. I have some very important news about your late husband David. Sir, if this is about more bills or more money we owe, I already told the other lawyer everything, Maya said quietly. Her voice was so tired and sad. We have nothing left. Nothing at all. Actually, Mrs. Johnson, this is about something very special that your husband left for you and your children. Something that nobody else in the world knew about until now. Maya looked at him with confusion in her eyes. That cannot be possible, sir. We went through everything David owned. The house, the car, the life insurance money. Everything went to pay the hospital bills when David was sick. Attorney Clark smiled in a very gentle way. Mrs. Johnson, did your husband ever tell you stories about his friend Thomas Mitchell? They were soldiers together in the army many years ago. Maya thought very carefully for a moment. Tom? Yes, David used to talk about him sometimes when he told me stories about his army days. But they lost contact with each other many years ago. David always wondered what happened to Tom. Why are you asking me about him? Because Thomas Mitchell never, ever forgot your husband's incredible kindness and bravery. You see, Mrs. Johnson, Thomas became very, very successful in the real estate business over the years. Very wealthy. And when he passed away just 1 month ago, he left very specific instructions in his will. Maya's hands started shaking again, but this time it was different. I still don't understand what you are trying to tell me, sir. Thomas left his entire fortune to the family of the man who once saved his life in Afghanistan. The brave man who gave him his last piece of bread when they were both hungry and scared. The strong man who carried him to safety when he was badly wounded and could not walk. That heroic man was your husband, David Johnson. Little Emma tugged at her mother's dress with her small hand. Mommy, what is this man talking about? I don't understand the big words. Attorney Clark bent down so he could look directly into the children's eyes. Your daddy was a real hero, kids. A true hero who saved someone's life. And that someone wanted to say thank you by taking care of Daddy's family forever and ever. Maya felt like the whole world was spinning around her. She felt dizzy and confused. What exactly are you trying to tell me, sir? Please speak clearly. I am telling you, Mrs. Johnson, that you have just inherited Thomas Mitchell's entire estate. His beautiful house, all of his savings, his business investments. Everything he owned in this world. The total value is $3.2 million. Maya's legs felt weak and she had to sit down right there on the concrete steps of her apartment building. She could not stand up anymore. Emma and Ethan quickly ran to their mother's side to help her. "Mommy, are you getting sick like Daddy did?" Ethan asked with worry in his voice. He put his little hand on her face to check if she had a fever. "No, my sweet baby," Maya whispered as tears began falling down her cheeks like a waterfall. "Mommy is not sick. Mommy is just very, very surprised by what this nice man is telling us." Attorney Clark sat down on the steps right next to Maya. "Mrs. Johnson, would you and the children like to come with me right now to see your new home?" 1 hour later, Maya found herself sitting in the passenger seat of Attorney Clark's expensive black car. Emma and Ethan were safely buckled in the back seat, looking out the windows with wonder as they drove through neighborhoods that became more and more beautiful with each passing mile. They passed houses with perfectly cut green lawns, fancy street lights, and homes that looked like they belonged in fairy tale books. "Are we driving to Disneyland?" Emma asked with excitement in her voice. "No, my sweetheart," Attorney Clark chuckled softly. "We are driving to your brand new home where you will live from now on." They turned into a very long driveway lined with tall, beautiful trees on both sides. At the end of the driveway stood the most amazing house Maya had ever seen in her entire life. It was a huge white mansion with tall columns in the front, a wraparound porch, and gardens that looked like they were taken care of by angels from heaven. "This cannot be real," Maya whispered to herself. "I must be dreaming. This has to be a dream." "It is very, very real, Mrs. Johnson," Attorney Clark said with a big smile. Thomas wanted to make absolutely sure that David's family would never have to worry about money or a place to live ever again. "This house is completely paid for. There are no monthly payments. There is also a trust fund set up for both children's college education and a monthly allowance for all your living expenses." As they walked through the huge front door, Maya felt like she had stepped into a fairy tale movie. The entrance hall had a crystal chandelier hanging from the ceiling that sparkled like 1,000 diamonds. The living room was bigger than their entire apartment had been, with a real fireplace and enormous windows that looked out onto a garden with swings and flowers everywhere. Emma and Ethan ran around the empty rooms in circles, laughing and shouting with joy. Their happy voices echoed through all the big empty spaces like music. "This house has 5 bedrooms, Attorney Clark explained as they walked from room to room. "There is a master bedroom suite for you, individual bedrooms for each of your children, and 2 guest bedrooms for visitors. The kitchen has been completely updated with new appliances. There is also a library filled with books, a playroom for the children, and a home office where you can work." Maya walked through each and every room very slowly and quietly. She touched the walls with her hands to make sure everything was really real and not just a wonderful dream. In the huge master bedroom, she found an envelope on the nightstand with her name written on it in careful handwriting. Maya opened the envelope with shaking fingers and began to read. "Dear Johnson family, if you are reading this letter, it means that I have passed away and you have discovered my gift to you. David Johnson saved my life in ways that he probably never fully understood or realized. When I was wounded and scared, only 20 years old and so far away from my home and family, your husband carried me to safety when I could not walk. He shared his own food rations with me when we had almost nothing to eat. He told me wonderful stories about his future wife and children to keep my spirits up during the darkest and most frightening times of our lives. I never got married. I never had children of my own. But I always remembered David's incredible kindness and his beautiful dreams of taking care of his family. When I learned about his death from cancer and discovered that you and the children were struggling financially, I knew exactly what I had to do. David once told me during our long conversations that his greatest fear was not dying in the war. His greatest fear was leaving his beloved family without enough money and protection. Please know that his sacrifice, his kindness, his love, and his heroic spirit have come full circle through my gratitude. This house and this financial security represent David's lasting legacy through my thankfulness. Live well. Love deeply. Raise your children with joy. And always remember that somewhere up in heaven, 2 old soldiers are smiling down on your family with pride and happiness. With my eternal gratitude and respect, Thomas Mitchell." Maya sat down on the bed and began crying with all her heart. But these were not tears of sadness this time. These were tears of overwhelming relief, gratitude, joy, and love. For the first time in many, many months, she could breathe freely without the heavy weight of worry and fear crushing down on her chest. Emma and Ethan ran into the bedroom and climbed up onto the big bed with their mother, wrapping their little arms around her. "Why are you crying again, Mommy?" Emma asked gently as she wiped away her mother's tears with her small, soft hands. "Because your daddy is still taking care of us, my precious children," Maya whispered through her tears. Even though he is up in heaven with the angels, Daddy found a way to make sure his family is safe and protected forever. That evening, as Maya tucked Emma and Ethan into their brand new beds in their own beautiful bedrooms, she felt David's loving presence stronger than she had since the day he died. The whole house felt warm, safe, and peaceful, filled with hope and promise for their future. "Mommy," Ethan said in a sleepy voice as she kissed his forehead goodnight, "I think Daddy and that soldier man Thomas are probably best friends in heaven now." "I think you are absolutely right, my smart little boy," Maya smiled as she pulled his blanket up to his chin. As Maya walked through every room of her incredible new home that night, she realized that sometimes the most amazing miracles come disguised as old memories and forgotten friendships. Sometimes love travels through time and space, connecting hearts across many years and thousands of miles. David's simple kindness to a frightened young soldier 20 years ago had somehow become their family's salvation today. 3 months later, Maya had completely transformed the empty house into a real, warm home filled with love and laughter. She quit her exhausting job at the grocery store and enrolled in online college classes to become a registered nurse. This was something she had always dreamed about doing but never thought would be possible because of money. Emma and Ethan were both thriving and happy in their excellent new school. They were making lots of new friends and discovering talents and interests they never knew they had before. Maya also decided to start a charitable foundation in David's name to help other military families who were facing financial hardships and medical emergencies. She had learned firsthand that blessings and good fortune are meant to be shared with others, and that acts of kindness create ripples that travel much further than we can ever see or imagine. 6 months after moving into the mansion, Maya was doing very well in her nursing classes. She had always wanted to help take care of sick people, just like the doctors and nurses who had tried so hard to save David's life. Now she finally had the time and money to follow her lifelong dream of helping others. Emma joined her school's choir and discovered that she had been blessed with a truly beautiful singing voice. Ethan started playing soccer on the school team and made many good friends who came to the house for birthday parties and sleepovers. Both children were earning excellent grades and seemed genuinely happy for the first time since their beloved father had died. Maya hired a wonderful housekeeper named Mrs. Rodriguez, who had also lost her husband and understood the pain of being a widow. Mrs. Rodriguez became like a loving grandmother to Emma and Ethan, and she helped Maya learn how to manage their completely new life. Slowly but surely, the big mansion filled with the sounds of laughter, friendship, and joy. Maya bought comfortable furniture that was practical as well as beautiful. She filled the library with hundreds of books for the children to read. The playroom had educational toys and fun games. Maya and the children planted flowers and vegetables together in the garden. Maya learned that Thomas Mitchell had been a successful real estate developer who specialized in building affordable houses for working families who did not have much money. She decided to continue his important work through the David Johnson Foundation. She wanted to help other families find safe, decent homes to live in, just like Thomas had helped her family. Every Sunday without fail, Maya took Emma and Ethan to visit David's grave at the peaceful cemetery. They always brought fresh flowers and told him about everything that had happened during the week. Emma would sing beautiful songs in her sweet voice. Ethan would show drawings and school projects. Maya would talk to David as if he were still right there with them. "My darling David," she would say while kneeling by his gravestone, "the children are growing up so fast and becoming such wonderful people. Emma sings like an angel sent from heaven. Ethan is incredibly smart and kind-hearted, just like his father. I'm working hard in nursing school and learning so much. I think you would be very proud of all of us." 1 year after David's death, Maya stood in their beautiful garden with Emma and Ethan, looking up at the bright stars in the clear night sky. The stars seemed extra bright and twinkly, almost like they were winking down at the little family. "Daddy," Maya whispered softly to the heavens above, "thank you for teaching me that real heroes never truly leave the people they love. Thank you for showing me that love is the most precious and powerful inheritance anyone can leave behind." Emma carefully placed a single red rose on the small memorial stone they had placed under the huge oak tree in David's memory. "I love you so much, Daddy. Thank you for being the very best father in the whole wide world." Ethan added a yellow flower next to his sister's rose. "Daddy, when I grow up, I want to be exactly like you. I want to spend my life helping other people who need help." As the three of them walked hand in hand back toward their beautiful, safe home, Maya felt her heart fill with gratitude and peace. They had started their journey with absolutely nothing except $5 and broken hearts. But they had ended up with something worth more than all the money in the world. They had learned that love never truly dies, that kindness never fades away, and that sometimes the most precious gifts come wrapped in the most unexpected packages. Maya also understood now that the mansion itself was not really the most important gift. The house was wonderful, but the real gifts were hope, security, peace of mind, and the knowledge that David's love had somehow found a way to protect and provide for his family even after his death. 2 years later, Maya graduated from nursing school with honors. Emma and Ethan, now 8 years old and growing taller every day, sat proudly in the front row of the graduation ceremony, cheering loudly for their amazing mother. Maya wore her crisp white nursing uniform with tremendous pride and joy. She had kept her sacred promise to David to take care of their precious family, and she had also found her own way to take care of many other families in need. Maya got her first job as a registered nurse at the exact same hospital where David had received his cancer treatment. She specifically wanted to work there so she could help other families who were going through the same frightening and heartbreaking experience that her family had endured. She was especially gentle and caring with children who were scared about their parents being seriously ill. The David Johnson Foundation grew bigger and more successful every single year. They helped military families pay overwhelming medical bills. They provided college scholarships for children who had lost parents in wars. They built playgrounds and community centers in neighborhoods that desperately needed them. Maya discovered that helping other people actually helped heal her own wounded heart. Emma began giving small concerts at foundation fundraising events. Her voice grew stronger and more beautiful with each passing year. She said she wanted to use her singing to make people happy, especially people who were feeling sad and hopeless like her family had once felt. Ethan started a small vegetable garden at the foundation's office building. He grew tomatoes, carrots, lettuce, and flowers to give away to families the foundation helped. He said that growing things made people smile, and everyone in the world needed something to smile about. 3 years after moving into the mansion, Maya met another young widow at a foundation charity event. Sarah was a woman whose husband had also died from cancer, leaving her completely alone with 3 small children. Sarah was about to lose her apartment and had no family members who could help her. Maya looked into Sarah's frightened eyes and saw herself 3 years earlier. She saw Emma and Ethan in Sarah's scared, hungry children. Without hesitation, Maya invited Sarah and her children to come live in the mansion's guest bedrooms until Sarah could get back on her feet financially. "You would really do this for a complete stranger?" Sarah asked with tears streaming down her face. "You are not a stranger to me," Maya said warmly. "You are a mother who desperately needs help. Someone helped my family when we needed it most. Now it is my turn to help you and your family." Sarah and her 3 children moved into the mansion the following week. The house, which had sometimes felt too big for just Maya and the twins, suddenly felt exactly the right size. All the children became best friends immediately. Sarah helped Maya with the foundation's paperwork and computer work. The mansion filled with even more laughter, friendship, and love than before. Maya realized that the mansion had been meant to be shared with people who needed help. Thomas Mitchell had lived alone his entire life. Maybe he had always wanted his house to be filled with the love, laughter, and family life that he had never been able to have himself. Over the following years, Maya helped dozens of families in crisis. Some stayed for a few months, others stayed longer. The mansion became well known throughout their community as a place of hope, healing, and new beginnings. Maya never asked the families for anything in return, but they always found their own ways to help other people once they had gotten back on their feet. Emma grew up to become a music teacher at the local elementary school. She continued singing at foundation events and also performed at churches and community centers. She married a wonderful man who shared her passion for helping others. Ethan became a pediatric doctor, inspired by his father's courageous battle with cancer and his mother's compassionate work as a nurse. He specialized in helping children with serious illnesses and their worried families. On the 10th anniversary of David's death, Maya stood alone in the garden that was now bursting with colorful flowers, herbs, and vegetables. The David Johnson Foundation had successfully helped over 500 families during the past decade. The mansion had provided temporary housing for more than 60 families who had nowhere else to go. Emma and Ethan were both grown up, married, and had given Maya 4 beautiful grandchildren to spoil and love. Maya was now 55 years old. Her hair had silver streaks running through it, but her eyes were still bright with purpose, joy, and determination. She still missed David every single day of her life, but the crushing sadness had been gradually replaced by deep gratitude and peaceful acceptance. "My beloved David," she said quietly to the twinkling stars above, "please look down and see what your kindness has created in this world. One simple act of love toward a frightened young soldier has become a lifetime of love, hope, and help for so many struggling families. You saved Thomas, Thomas saved us, and we have been able to save countless others. Love really does multiply and spread, doesn't it, my darling? That night, Maya opened Thomas Mitchell's letter one more time. She had read it hundreds of times over the past 10 years, but tonight she noticed something written in very small handwriting at the bottom that she had somehow missed before. David once told me during one of our long conversations that he firmly believed love is exactly like planting seeds in fertile soil. You may not live long enough to see the tree grow tall and strong, but someday other people will enjoy sitting in its cool shade. I sincerely hope this gift helps your family plant many seeds of love that will grow for generations to come. Maya smiled through happy tears. David and Thomas had both been absolutely right about everything. Love truly is like planting seeds. Their $5 inheritance had somehow grown into a mighty forest of love, hope, kindness, and generosity that would continue growing and spreading long after Maya was gone from this earth. Maya looked around her beloved mansion one final time that evening. Tomorrow morning, yet another family in desperate need would move into the guest bedrooms. A young father who had lost his job and was about to become homeless with his two small daughters. The beautiful cycle of love, kindness, and helping others would continue forever and ever. As Maya turned off all the lights and slowly walked upstairs to her bedroom, she whispered the same prayer she had said every night for the past 10 years. Thank you, my precious David. Thank you, dear Thomas. Thank you both for showing me that the very best inheritance in the world is not money or houses or expensive things. The best inheritance is love, kindness, and compassion. And love always finds a way back home. The secret mansion had taught Maya the greatest secret of all, that simple acts of kindness create miracles, that true love never dies, and that sometimes the smallest gift like $5 or one soldier's kindness to another can change the entire world for the better. Maya fell asleep that night with a peaceful smile on her face, surrounded by the protective love of a husband who still watched over her from heaven, eternally grateful to a stranger who had remembered kindness after 20 long years, and completely at peace knowing that their beautiful story of love would continue living on through every family they had helped, every child they had fed, every heart they had healed, and every seed of love they had planted in the world. The $5 inheritance had truly become priceless beyond measure,